Let's get started. All right. So, uh, some people believe that they're living random lives, that they just react to the things that happen, and that these things that happen are just random occurrences. They're just coincidences. Okay. So, let me give you an example. Let's say you set a goal, and then let's say that the goal is, maybe getting a new car. And then maybe you get the idea that you need to save money, and then you save money for the car. And let's say that maybe you need more money at your job, so you get a degree, which will bring you more money into your world. And then let's say that you accumulate the money necessary to get the new car, and then let's say you get the new car. Now, seems logical. Seems like you did this all on your own, right? Wrong. Because you can either depend on, or let's say adhere to the belief that everything is random or everything is spiritual. Now, if everything is spiritual, and I'm not necessarily talking religion, I'm talking spiritual, okay? Whatever you call this in here, whether you call this energy or a spirit, whatever you call that, okay, but that's what I'm talking about. Now, as you take the steps, your subconscious leads the way to your goal. Okay, it will bring intuitive thought. When you listen to intuitive thought, your intuitive thought will tell you, okay, do this, do that. Maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. And this is the way it happens. And it will lead you to your goal. Okay, but some people go, well, it was just random. I earned some money and then I bought a car. It was random. It was just an occurrence. It was just a coincidence. Okay, so either you believe that everything is a coincidence, or you believe that, because I know people that are religious, right, that tell me that these things that happen in their lives are coincidences. They go, well, yes, I believe in God, but I got this promotion, and that it's kind of like a coincidence. So they dismiss it as coincidence. Well, if you believe in God, you can't do that. If you believe in God, you have to believe that that's what was intended for you. If you believe in source, if you believe, however you believe, if you believe in higher power, higher self, if you believe in infinite intelligence, then you need to believe in it, or otherwise, everything is random. Everything is just randomly thrown into your world. It's just random. Everything is a coincidence, or everything has a divine order. Now, the divine order of things, when you heighten your awareness, when you sharpen your awareness, and then you look in on things and you go, oh, I can see the synchronicities. Oh, I can see how this plays into the other thing. Oh, I can see how this action has this result, right? Now, let's look at the subconscious again. Let's look at the tree. Okay, so the subconscious are your beliefs. A belief is a thought you keep thinking. Okay, so all of your subconscious thoughts, these subconscious patterns are beliefs. Your paradigm, the trunk of the tree, your paradigm is how you see the world based upon what you believe. Now, let's look at the fruits of the tree up here. The fruits of the tree are your actions and habits based upon how you see the world, how you react to things. And that's based upon your core beliefs in the subconscious. Okay, so that's how it works. Now, if you're with the understanding that, okay, there's no divine order, this is just conscious, subconscious, superconscious, and we will call the superconscious the collective. We'll call it the collective energy in the universe. Then that's one side of it, right? But here's the thing, right? I know religious people, people that believe in, or they say they believe in God. They say they believe in God, but then when something happens, they go, well, that's a coincidence. Okay? I'm here to tell you that the subconscious communicates with the superconscious. Your subconscious communicates with your higher self, God, the universe, however you want to say that, however you want to call divine intelligence, whatever you want to call it, divine intelligence. But that's how it works. That's what it does. That's the way it happens for you. And it will unfold as you take the steps. There is no such thing as you taking steps towards a goal and that goal not happening. Okay? The way it doesn't happen is it doesn't happen your way, okay? Because the how is God's job, or let's say, Source's job, or the Creator's job, or the universe's job. It doesn't matter how you say it. Okay, I personally believe in God. I'm a God person. Some people are not God people. Some people are source people. Some people are universe people. Some people are, right? Okay. Now, religion as a whole is organized. Religion has a purpose. Religion, yeah. 501c3 churches. Don't get me started on that. You're not going to like what I have to say. But I won't get started on that. Okay, but don't get me started on that. All right, so that's a commercial entity. Okay, it's a commercial entity. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about what you have in here. I'm talking about this spirit. I'm talking about this energy. This energy is what brings everything to you or not. Okay, and I'm going to explain. Now, let me give you an example. Okay, I'll tell you this girl's story. I'm not going to say her name. We'll just say this girl. Okay, so this girl came to me. She brought her children to me. Okay, and I was teaching her daughter. I was teaching one of her children, and I offered to teach her others. She had 3 young children. Okay, now her van was breaking down, and her van was like in disrepair. Let's say it that way. Okay, and it was breaking down. She didn't have any money to fix it. She was a single mom. So when she came to me, I said, you know what? Here, I'm going to show you how to do this. I want you to write this affirmation. And I gave it to her. Okay, so affirmation. Let me grab my pen here. Okay, so I am so happy and grateful now that I have my new van. Thank you. And I said, all right, there's your affirmation. I want you to write that affirmation, and I want you to do it for at least 2 months. You have to write the same affirmation for 2 months. She said, okay. And she took it home and she started doing it. I told her you also have to speak it out loud every evening. Okay, so every evening before you go to bed, when your brain is in theta state, when it's in relaxed mode, okay, when you're fully relaxed, that's the last thing that your subconscious hears, okay, is what you speak right before you sleep. Okay, so speak something good before you sleep. That's the best advice I can give you. But before you go to sleep, talk about your day tomorrow. Okay? Say something nice. Say something good about yourself. Say something good about the world. Okay, this is why people say their prayers before they go to bed. Okay? They say their prayers before we can say prayers, we can say intentions, we can say wishes, okay? We can say desires, all of those things. But that's why you say your prayers before you go to bed. Okay? Because you want God to bless you, because you want God to bless others, because you want God to bless the people that you name, because you are wishing them well. That's why you say your prayers before you go to bed. Okay, so, right, I told her, read your affirmation out loud before you go to bed and do this for 2 months. Well, guess what happened? It was about maybe 2 months and 2 weeks, 2.5 months. She comes into my office and she goes, you'll never guess what happened. And I'm like, whoa, I love these stories, right? So I'm like, okay, what happened? She said, well, I got a call from my girlfriend like 3 days ago. And she said her husband's in the military, and she said he has new orders, and they have to leave Hawaii like right now. But she's going to give me her van, and she's going to sign it over to me. All I have to do is fill out the owner's certificate. I mean, the papers. Fill out the papers in her name. There you go. Brand new van. Well, okay, wasn't exactly brand new. It had 10,000 miles on it. You think she was complaining? To her, it was a brand new van. It was in immaculate condition. Beautiful condition. 10,000 miles on it. Now, if you believe in God, if you believe in Source, if you believe in the universe, if you believe in all of that, okay, the superconscious, then you can say this was a divine thing that happened. Okay, you can say God heard her prayers. You can say the universe gave her what she was intending, what she was desiring. Okay, you can say all of that, but that's what you can say. Now, if you don't believe in God, you can go, well, that was just a random coincidence. Really? She worked on it for 2.5 months, but she worked on it here. God is in here. She worked on it in here. Okay? God is in here. The conscious, subconscious, and superconscious are all in here. Okay? So she was ecstatic. She was like, wow, I have a new van. I can't believe it. Like it worked. Okay? So, we have scientific proof that the subconscious works. Why? Because whatever your subconscious programming is, that's what it continues to deliver to you. So, what do you believe? Do you believe you're worthy? Do you believe you're smart? Do you believe you're ingenuitive? Do you believe you're generous? Do you believe you're kind? Okay? All of these things will be returned to you in kind, which means it will be returned to you the way you express it out. There is an energy out there. You can call it God, you can call it a force field, you can call it the universe, you have many labels that you can apply to it. But when you make an impression on that, okay, and I'm talking about frequency, I'm talking about energy, frequency, vibration, the things that Nikola Tesla told us. He said, well, if you want to understand the universe, think energy, frequency, vibration, okay? But if you think of these things, right, you put that vibration out, your biggest vibration comes from your heart, okay? When you think of something and you get excited, your heart starts beating. You can feel your heart beating because you're excited about whatever it is you're thinking about, right? Okay, so when that happens, it goes out into the universe. It goes out into the world. And then what happens? Well, you make an impression on that energy. That energy will send you back the same thing, the same energy. So, like, have you been on a negative roll? Where you do something, you get up late, right? The alarm didn't go off. One thing after another happens after another, and you spill your breakfast. Then you rush to the car, you get stuck in traffic, right? Like all of that. What's the solution? Okay, if you're stuck in a negative role, the solution is to take a timeout. Because now you're pushing, and your biorhythms are out of order. Now you're pushing. Good morning, Jason. You're pushing, right? And now you've pushed your way out of alignment. How do you get back in alignment? You take a timeout. How do you get back in alignment? You sit down and chill. You sit down and meditate. You sit down and be still for at least 5 minutes. But what do? We push more. We push harder, right? I'm late. I gotta go. If I said, okay, stop and take a 5-minute timeout, right? You would think it was crazy. No, I'm late for work. I can't do another 5 minutes. I'm gonna get in trouble, right? Wrong. I'm here to tell you, when you take that vibrational timeout, when things are going bad, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're late for work. I don't care if you're late for an appointment. I don't care what it is. If you stop and reset and do that timeout and reset your biorhythms, okay, 5 minutes, that's all you need. 5 minutes, okay, and chill. Now proceed. Now get back on the road. You know what I do? I find a parking lot and I just go and I park and I sit there. I sit in my car and I observe. You need to become the observer, because when you become the observer, you're not the participant. Okay, so let me give you another example, okay? When you're in an argument with somebody, here's one of the things. So here's a lesson of power for you, okay? A lesson of power. Okay, I'm gonna put this one higher than this one, okay? But this is a tennis match. You'd be surprised. My clients are high-powered professionals, okay? I'm talking attorneys, doctors. I'm talking like nurses. I'm talking like professional people, firemen, like professional people, okay? Because they can afford to come to me. I do this for public service. I'm not here to sell you anything, okay? But this is what I tell them, and I'm going to show you how many of them are wrong when they answer this question. So here's the question. Okay, so here's the scenario. This is the server, okay? These two are playing tennis. This is the server. This one hits the ball goes in the court over here, scores a point, goes out. This one just stands there, okay? Who holds the power? The majority of these people that hold degrees, The majority of people that, have even double, like they have double degrees, like two degrees. I have many clients that have more than one degree. They go, well, this one scored the point. Uh, he's in control. He's the winner. And I'm like, no, this one controlled the game. Why? Because this one became the observer. This one did not react. This one hit the ball. Yes, he scored a point. But because this one didn't move, now there's no game. No game. Okay? That's power. When you can control the game, that's power. You can let somebody score a point. Okay? So, how does that work in an argument? Well, in an argument, right, you have two people. It takes two, right? Okay? So, this one is arguing with this one. But if this one becomes the observer and just watches the other one go off without reacting, and it takes a considerable amount of inner strength to do that, it takes a considerable amount of confidence to do that. But when you can do that and you switch to the observer, okay, you switch to the observer, now you're observing. Hey, Crystal. Now you're observing. Now you hold the power. Why? Because there's a lot of activity going on over there, but you are not involved with the activity. When you engage, you join. Okay? When you engage with anything, you join energetically. Okay? So now if you engaged, right? You participate, you're a participant. You have joined energetically. But if you don't, right? It's like this guy. It's like this guy, right? Okay? Like this. It's like this guy. He controls the game. Why? Because he didn't participate. So although this one scored the point, this one controls the game. So when you can be the observer, or when you can switch to the observer, you can control the interaction. Okay? Remember, it's how you respond that sets up the next step. How you respond to anything sets up the next step. If somebody is angry, this is why they say you cannot fight fire with fire. Okay? Because if somebody's attacking you verbally and you participate and you attack back, you don't know what the next step is going to be, right? It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good at all. Okay? That's why you can't fight fire with fire. That's why when people say water off a duck, right? They say, let it go. Don't respond. Let it go. Most of my clients don't get it when they first come to me, right? I have to put them through a series of thinking. And then they go, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Junior, you're right. Yeah, I'm going to try that at work. And they try it at work and right? If you diffuse a situation, you control the situation. If you're adding or fueling the situation, you're making it worse. There's no control. If somebody texts you something, okay, and you text them back and they don't answer you, don't you have that empty feeling inside? That empty feeling? Okay. Any interaction requires both sides, but everything is energy. It's all energy. When you give up your power, you're giving energy, and you're giving up your power. Now you're hoping that power comes back. If that power comes back, now you have a game. Now you can continue to play, or you can stop. Okay? You can stop and hold the power. But here's the thing about power. Power is only good when you retain it. Power is never good when you use it. When you use it, you lose it until it gets returned to you. Okay? And that's why at the end of a relationship, at the end of a breakup, at the end of a interaction, at the end of a ghosting on text and stuff like that, there's an emptiness inside. Right? There's a little empty space inside. And that little empty space is because it didn't get returned to you. You made a comment, you did an action, right? And it never gets returned to you. and there's that little empty space in here. Okay? So this is a lesson in power. This is how you retain your power. Powerful people know this. Powerful people know that if they don't use their power, they retain their power. Power is precious. Your energy is precious. But this is the way that they know how to operate, how to perform, how to hold the power. If you give up your power, what did they say when people that expression, right? Oh, he lost it. What did he lose? He lost his energy. He gave it up. He gave it up. Boom. He exploded, right? Oh, you should have seen, right? And what happens when you do that? You shake for a little while. You shake. Why? Because you take all your energy and you go bam, and you throw it out like that. And then you shake until you recover, right? Think about it. You shake. Why? Because you've lost it. Why? Because you took all your energy and you pushed it out. When you screamed at somebody, when you yelled at somebody, when you took all your energy and bam, let it go. Now you have to recover. Or let's say it another way. Now you have to settle down. Now you need your energy back. So if you be still, your energy comes back. But you're shaking like this when you first do it, right? Because you just threw it out of your body. Now you have to wait. Now it comes back slowly, right? Then you stop shaking. Then everything is okay. Now you can proceed. Okay, this is what happens when you give up your power. This is what happens when you take all of your energy, okay, and you lose it, okay, let's say get angry, lose it, and just push it all out. Bam! Yell at somebody. Bam! Swear at somebody. Bam! Swear at nothing, just to get energy out. Now, I will tell you something about energy and how it's productive, okay? Because everything has a good and bad side to it. Everything. Hi, TG. Good morning. Good morning, Sheila. So everything has a good and bad side to it. But what's the good part? The good part is that when instead of holding on to anger, instead of holding on to frustration, get it out. Okay? Get it out. But there's a difference between the expulsion of energy and there's a difference between putting anger into it. Okay? Because when you put anger into it, that's when you start shaking because you got angry. Okay? But if you just express it, bam, get out the frustration. It's like doing like this. It's like this, right? Bam, just get it out. Now move on, okay, and settle down. Okay. There's a reason why we say, "Oh, Bob lost it." Oh, you should have seen Sophia. Sophie lost it. She lost it, right? Okay. Or we say people went off or whatever, but that's what it is. So now, how does this affect your manifestation of things? How does this affect your goals? How does this, okay? What it does, okay? So fear, this anger is part of fear, okay? At the root level, it's fear. Because when you get angry, there's something you're fearing, there's something you're against, there's something that you're pushing against, okay? It could be a protective thing, okay? It could be a, I don't want to deal with this now thing. It could be like, I don't want this thing, right? But if you do this, what is it doing to your manifestation of things or circumstances or goals, right? We could say it that way, goals. What is it doing? It's keeping you from your goals. It's putting a wall here. It's putting this wall here. And now there's this energy field projecting this way. Your blessings are trying to come to you and they can't get to you. Why? Because there's this energy here. Now, this can be stubborn, this can be angry, this can be fearful, this can be doubt. This can be doubt, okay? So doubt and fear keep you from your manifestation. The reason why doubt and fear keeps you from your manifestation is because now your life path can no longer unfold like this. Your life path can no longer just seamlessly unfold for you. All of the blessings that are in here, okay, everything is in here. The kingdom is in here. Your dreams are in here. Okay, the fulfillment of your dreams are in here. Everything is in here. The kingdom is in here. The only thing that's out there is nature and things from someone else's in here. That's all. Okay. If you'd like to write me questions, Afro, good morning. Afrocentric, good morning. If you'd like to ask me questions, if you just put them in the chat, I'd be happy to answer your questions. So, manifestation, right? Let's say it another way: goal setting, goal achieving. Well, living your dreams. Okay, that's my number one rule. That's my only rule in life. And it's been my rule since I was very, very young. Since I was 12. If I put my name in a browser, I see all the things I was dreaming about when I was 12. Good day. Good day. Yes, good day. It's a very good day. Happy to have you here. Thank you for coming by. Ask me questions. Go ahead. So I'm here to help. This is my, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to help. So go ahead, ask me questions. All right. So Facebook people ask me questions on Facebook, and I will answer as soon as we finish the broadcast. Okay. I will answer you in detail, or I will message you and help. Okay. So how do we manifest effectively? Why would I want to manifest? Why would I want to accomplish goals? And what's the fastest way to accomplish goals? Affirmations, meditation, visualization, and vocalization. If you apply all four at one thing, it cannot not happen. It's impossible. It's impossible. Because we're human beings. The first thing that you need to know about the subconscious, right? The very first thing you need to know is that visualization is the most powerful. What we look at, okay? So we have eyes, and our eyes look out there. We seek out there. We always seek out there. Okay, people have a very tough time seeking in here. Why would you seek in here? The reason you seek in here is because you have a subconscious. The reason you seek in here is because you have a reticular activating system in your brainstem. The reason you seek in here is because you project everything out here. And everything is projected for you according to your desires, according to your life path, according to why you're here. And we are all here to contribute. We are all here to contribute something. Okay? I'm the product of two teachers. So teaching, my mother used to tell me, teaching is inbred. Well, everything is inbred. Okay? If you're a rancher, and let's say you met another person, let's say you're a man rancher and you meet a woman rancher, and you get married and you have children, or maybe you don't get married but you have children. Those children will be ranchers. They will have a great tendency to ranch. Okay, so but what I'm saying is we all have our inner gifts. We all have these things. Okay, so when you're experiencing fear and when you're experiencing doubt, you end up like this. And what is this? This is holding yourself back. This is self-restraint. This is, I'm not going to trust. This is, I'm in fear. This is, I'm in doubt. This is, I'm angry. This is, I'm stubborn. I'm not going to do that. I'm not, right? Stubborn, okay? What is the solution? Well, first you have to relax. And relax some more. And relax and relax. It's a process. And then you open. Or the other visual is like this, like this, like this, and like that. Okay, this is receptive. This is positive. This is open. This is the lotus flower. This is welcoming. I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to accept. I'm ready to receive. Okay? So you can't be in fear mode and be receptive. You can't be in fear mode and then expect to have good things come in your life. You can't be angry or striking out at people or striking out at things and expect to have all your dreams come. It won't happen. It can't happen. It cannot happen. You are a vibrational being, okay? The majority of my clients are women. Women are emotional beings. They manifest very quickly because in order to manifest something, you have to marry emotion, okay, with intention. Emotion with intention. This is why women manifest very quickly. And they're multitaskers because they have babies. Okay? They're engineered to be mama bears. So what do? They manifest very quickly. And there's a spiritual reason why happy wife, happy life, or happy female, right? There's a reason. When you keep the female happy, she'll keep manifesting because she's in a good mood, right? She's feeling good. She's on a positive streak, right? She's manifesting, but she will manifest way more than men, way more, okay? In multiple avenues because she's a multitasker. Now, what happens when she goes into a slump? Don't let that happen to your woman, okay? Keep her happy. When you keep her happy, she will keep bringing blessings. She's an emotional being. The only side is the intention. She's already an emotional being. Hello, ladies are like natural manifestors, okay? Or let's say it another way. They achieve their goals very quickly. All they have to do is stay the course, whatever it is, degrees. Well, I know women with multiple degrees in college, and they did it all relatively around the same time. Okay, but here, this is intention. Okay, a woman is an emotional being. When you marry intention with emotion, you have manifestation of whatever the intention was. Okay, what happens when she's in a down slump? The tide goes out, it goes out, it goes out. Things start disappearing, things start going. What happens when she gets happy again? They start coming back, Now, if you don't notice that if you're a woman and you don't notice that these things are happening to you, you have to rise above your life a little bit and look down on it. Okay, that's called awareness. Okay, you actually are awareness. You need to be aware of the fact that you are awareness. Okay, we can see ourselves in motion. We can judge ourselves in motion, which is part of the problem. Okay, but we can judge in motion. Okay, when we look back down on ourselves, we can see ourselves. I can see myself in motion right now. I can see myself talking to you right now. I am very much aware of what I'm speaking right now. And my job as a teacher is to channel into the right information. Okay, there's different types of channeling. Okay, I'm not talking about witchcraft. I'm talking about channeling from the superconscious to the subconscious to the conscious. How does that work? Well, the superconscious is what brings the right things into play for you in your life that will lead you to your goal. The subconscious gives you thoughts on how to proceed. So do this experiment. Ask yourself a question. Just ask yourself a question. Should I go to the beach on Sunday? Your subconscious is obligated to answer you. It will answer you. It will give you different thoughts, different feelings, different thoughts. The one that keeps occurring the most is the answer. Your mind is obligated to answer you. So, do most people do it that way? No, they don't. But if you do this and you write questions, okay, I'm going to show you automatic writing. Now, automatic writing, I know a lot of Christian people that go, oh no, that's demonic. Well, it's demonic if you're trying to summon a demon, I guess, right? But this is subconscious. Subconscious communicating with the superconscious. Write down a question. Write it down. Okay? Ask yourself a question. Write it down. Now, after you wrote it down, the answer that comes to mind, write that down. Like you're having a conversation, but you're doing it on paper. Okay, now keep your hand relaxed. Keep your hand very relaxed on the table and keep writing and keep writing. Write down the thought and write down the answer. Write down the thought, write down the answer. Pretty soon, your hand is telling you a story and you are tapping into the subconscious. Now, the subconscious, your subconscious, is a culmination of everything you've learned. It's a culmination of everything you've been exposed to. And now you're starting to write answers. And now you're starting to get it. And now you're starting to, right? Eddie, good morning. Eddie. Love you, Eddie. Miss you. And so you're starting to write the answers and where's this coming from? It's coming from your subconscious. Okay, now the superconscious, what's the superconscious responsible for? The superconscious is is allowing the circumstances or bringing the circumstances in. There's a lot of explanations about this. Okay, it goes into quantum physics, it goes into physics, it goes into science, it goes into all of that. Okay, but your higher power, your higher self, okay, what you call infinite intelligence, everything in the universe is intelligent, every single thing. Okay, thank you, Eddie. Thank you. I miss you. We will get together soon. Yeah. So everything, right, starts to come through either from your superconscious or the superconscious, and you channel these things. Okay, let me give you an example of channeling. When's the last time you were explaining something to someone, like how something works, right? How something works. So it works like this, and pretty soon you start saying things because you're channeling now. Okay, you don't know you're channeling. Okay, but you're channeling, and pretty soon you don't know how you know what you're saying, but you're just saying it, and then you go, boy, I hope I remember this because I didn't even know I knew this, right? That's channeling. I channel when I teach all the time. I channel when I do my lives every morning. I channel. Okay, but this is where it comes from. It comes from the superconscious. There is only the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. That's all there is, and it's all in here. You have access from here. So when you look for something, when you're seeking answers, in the Holy Bible it says, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. Okay, seek with your eyes closed. Close your eyes and seek. Now seek. So wisdom is not learned. Wisdom is granted. Okay? But your conscious mind is the one that your frontal lobe. It thinks 1,000, 100,000 thoughts a day. Okay? The most predominant thoughts, or let's say it another way, the thoughts that you choose, that you really want to hang on to, go into your subconscious and they become beliefs, because a belief is a thought you keep thinking. If you keep thinking a thought, you're going to believe it. Okay, I had an ex. I had an ex, and God bless her, she would change details, but she would memorize those details and it became a belief. Right? She had that skill. She would think it and think it and think it and think it, and pretty soon she would change her own history, because in her mind it happened this way, but it actually happened this way, right? But this is how you can change your reality. You can change your reality because your reality is subjective. Your reality is your reality. Everyone perceives different. There's 7.2 billion people on the planet. Everybody perceives differently. Everybody sees things differently. You can have a classroom full of 20 students, and you can teach these 20 people, and all 20 are going to have a different version of what you taught in their mind. A slightly different perception. How do you make your perception work for you? You apply it. You apply it to whatever it is the subject matter is. You apply it. If you visualize that you're lucky and everything happens for you and everything happens your way and everything is just being catered to you from God or from whoever, however you believe, then that's exactly how it's going to play out in your life. Okay? But if you go around like this, right? If you go around stuck like this is not being able to move. This is being fearful. This is fear, guilt, shame, overthinking, like this. Because overthinking puts you into a loop. You're overthinking. You're just thinking over and over and over and over. Overthinking. Like thinking way too much. What happens when you think way too much? And you can spend your life in turmoil, okay? Because your subconscious will learn the overthinking. And then it will be a habit, because the subconscious takes overthinking and go, okay, we're overthinking? Okay. And they'll start overthinking. And then you become trapped in the overthinking. It doesn't matter what you're thinking. It will just repeat over and over and over. It will plague you. It will torment you. And that is hell. That is what hell is. Okay? It's that turmoil. Okay? Some people live in hell every single day. Over and over and over and over. What's the solution? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. Ask me questions. Hi, Jay. Jay is our moderator. So how do you get rid of? Well, you do the affirmations, right? So you write it, and then you speak it before you go to bed, and bless yourself before you go to bed. That's why you say prayers. That's why you say intentions. That's why you wish for things before you go to sleep. But speak it out loud because your subconscious reacts to it. Okay, so the second most powerful reaction in the subconscious is auditory, what your subconscious hears. So speak it. Okay, people don't realize the power that they have. People don't realize the power. When you speak things, you can speak things into existence, and you can write things into existence. You can visualize things into existence, and you can meditate things into existence. Think it, write it, speak it. Think it, write it, speak it. I did it for everything. I did it for every single thing in my life since 2007. Before that, it was random. Before that, it was a random occurrence. And yes, I had my success in 1999. My success started, and the popularity and all that nonsense that started. But then I was also doing the same kind of thinking. I was doing the same kind of things, right? I had my own opinion of things. And then in 2007, when I finally went down all these rabbit holes, right? I go, oh, that's why that happened. That's why this success thingy happened. That's why when I built my companies, it led to another company, it led to another thing and another thing, and I didn't really mean to go into business. I didn't mean to go into business. My uncle pushed me into business. He pushed hard. He pushed hard. He goes, you want to be like these other musicians? You want to be like these other guys? You want to work for the same amount of money 10 years later, 20 years later? Basically, it's almost the same amount of money. You want to do that, or you want to do something bigger, right? And he wasn't the only one. I had several mentors. I had a marketing mentor, right? That actually taught me to do it's guerrilla marketing. It's not the kind of marketing you do in school. You know, in marketing school, you have a certain amount of things you do in a certain way to do it, and they have this, you follow the program. Well, he said, well, you don't need to follow this program, or you don't need to go to school for marketing. Just do this, do this, do this. And I started doing those things. And in 50, over the span of 15 years, we did over $4 million of retail advertising. And we helped a lot of companies. It was called VMAC Consultants. Okay, but over the span of 15 years, because part of the thing, here's something I can tell you for employment. Okay, if you're employed by someone else, be valuable to the company. That's the advice that I got from one of my bosses. One of my bosses told me, make yourself valuable to the company. If you don't make yourself valuable, if you don't demonstrate value, let's say it another way. If you don't show the company that there's another reason why they're hiring you, okay, then you're not very valuable, because then you're like all these guys. You're like all the rest of the guys. And you can be laid off. They can get rid of you. They can just hire somebody else that, does the same thing you do. But if you create value, okay, now you need to create value with everything in life. Create value. Don't just stop at the minimal. Don't just stop at them like, okay, I just need to do this much and then I can get a paycheck. Just this much. No, don't stop here. Do this much. Do that much. You can't see my hand because it's going out off the screen. But yeah, do that much. Okay, do as much as you can. It all comes back to you. You're making an investment in yourself. Okay, the law of oneness. Okay, the 12 universal laws. The first one, okay, is the law of one. The law of one. Okay, everything. We're all one. We're all connected. Okay, the energy that I have in here is the same energy you have. And that energy is intelligent, and that energy is unique, and that energy will bring you what you want. It will also bring you what you need. There's a big difference. Okay, when I wanted to be an entertainer. I wanted to perform. I wanted to make people laugh. I wanted to sing songs. I wanted to do all of this. And my first mentor, right? He goes, no, you have to do business. And then I started doing business. Then I got addicted to business, and then I started, building companies and stuff, and doing that. And now everything is online. But the reason why you see so much turmoil in the world right now is because we're going through transition. But make yourself valuable by demonstrating value. You have value, you just need to find it. How do you find value? Here, you take one of these, okay? And you get a pad, a writing pad, and I'll show you. Okay, so I have two down here. I have one that I always show on my live. This is my affirmation, my new pad, right? The new one. This is the one that I show everybody. Okay, so if you want to know how to find your purpose, these are affirmations. This is not journaling. This is not writing about the past. You can't do anything about the past. If you want to write about the past, if you're journaling about the past, what's the purpose? To remember? You have a great memory. You have a fantastic memory. It's called your subconscious. All you have to do is come across things that trigger the memories. That's all. You think you forgot, right? And then all of a sudden, one day somebody says something and you go, I remember, that happened, right? Okay. So you don't need to journal about what happened, okay? You don't need to live in the past. If you're journaling about what happened yesterday, you're bringing yesterday into today, okay? And you don't need to do that. You can leave it there. You can't do anything about the past. You can't change it. You can't alter it. You can't, okay? So what good is it today? There's no value, okay? Now, it makes you who you are. But who you are and who you were are two different things. Who you evolved to be. I know people that I used to work with years and years ago, and they still haven't evolved. They're still doing the same thing over and over. I call that the mouse wheel. Over and over and over. You're on the mouse wheel. What's the mouse wheel? Here's a good example. Monday through Friday, right? You get up, make breakfast, you take the kids to school, drop the kids off, go to work all the way, right? And then you come home, then you make dinner for the kids, then you have a few hours, you watch a couple of movies, and you go to bed. Okay, Monday through Friday is like that. Saturday, okay, well, we're gonna do laundry in the morning, we're gonna clean the house, we're gonna take the kids to soccer, we have activities on Saturday, right? Sunday is family day, we're gonna go to church, we're gonna go to a picnic, we're gonna have some family time, we're gonna do some bonding, right? Monday morning, back on the mouse wheel. And some people live like this day to day to day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. And one day, there's no life left. That's good for some people. Some people like to live like that. Some people enjoy the mouse wheel. But you know what? My clients that come to me, especially my high performance clients, right? Those make up the majority of my clients. I take a couple of clients. People have to apply to be my client. Okay? But my clients that are high performance clients, they're so focused on what they learned in college and how to be, good at what they do, that becomes their primary focus. When I lift them out of that and actually focus them more on their awareness, what they do is they look back inside and they go, oh, I'm just another cog in the wheel. Oh, I can be replaced. Oh, this doesn't matter so much to me now. The mouse wheel sucks, right? There's locally we have festivals, the same festivals all year long, right? Every year, same festival, over and over and over and over. And all you're doing is looking at, I don't know, if it's Christmas, it's like, oh, let's look at the new decorations this year. Oh, they put up a different decoration. Okay. This is part of the societal hypnosis that you're in. This is part of the mouse wheel. This is the repetition that you're stuck in. Break free of that. You can break free of that. But you have to break free here. Okay? The prison is here. Okay? When you're locked in the matrix is here. Okay? But you can break free of the matrix by doing this. I know this looks crazy. Let me show you again. It looks crazy, right? This looks crazy. Like, what? He's doing that every day? What? That looks crazy. Well, not just every day. I made a video and I put it up on social media. I've been doing it for years and years and years and years and years, and it looks crazy, but it brings me everything I want, and it takes away everything I don't want. Because when you know what you don't want, then you know what you want. Then you engineer your subconscious towards what you want. Then your subconscious keeps repeating. Okay, so once you program it, it's like a computer. You only get out what you put in. And once you start programming new beliefs in your subconscious, now you can only program maybe 15 to 20%. The rest is your paradigm from when you were 0 to 7 years old. Okay, do you default to a lot of those beliefs? Yeah, you do if you don't keep up writing, if you don't keep doing. Okay, and this is why I keep doing it. This is why I'm working on my new book here. Okay, my new tab. Okay, I love legal tabs for some reason. Maybe it's because they're yellow. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're long and I can put more on it. I don't know. But you can design your life with one of these. Design your life. Don't live a random life. Okay, the difference between somebody living a random life, they're just waiting for something to happen. Or they're watching social media or they're watching television going, oh, look, that happened, that happened, that happened, and how you're reacting to it. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, so don't live a random life. Write for what you want. Design your life purposefully. Or you're going to live a random life. Now, at the beginning of the podcast, I do a podcast, by the way, it's at jrkji.com. But at the beginning of the live, okay, at the beginning of the live, I was saying, like, if you believe in God, then you live a life of divinity because the divinity is within you. The divinity is here. The word namaste is a Hindu word, and it means the divinity in me acknowledges the divinity in you. So they say namaste. Okay. Now, there's many ways to say those things. There's many beliefs that use the same principle. Okay. The other thing that we do is we surrender to the energy. We surrender to the superconscious. The Christians have a term for that. They say, let go and let God. And what they're really talking about is respond to intuitive thought. Let me give you an idea of intuitive thought. Okay, I always use the same one, so if you've heard it, just bear with me for the newbies, okay? You're driving down the road and you have that feeling that you need to turn here. And you dismiss it. You go, nah, it's okay. Because you have free will. You can will anything. You have free will. You don't have to pay attention to intuitive thought if you don't want to. Okay? So you go, no, I'm not going to turn there. And you go to the next light and you get stuck in the traffic jam along the way before you get to the next light. And what do you say? You say, I knew I should have done that. Right? How many things happen in your life and you go, I knew I should have done that. I knew I should have done something else. I knew, because you did know. You did know. You really did know. You were told, you were advised, but you did not pay attention to divine intervention, intuitive thought, intuition, okay? And you know intuition, when you're standing something, you have the feeling somebody's watching you and you turn around, somebody's right there looking at you. That's intuition. It's not a voice, okay? It's a feeling. Okay, so you get the feeling you should make that right turn. You dismiss it. You keep going. You get stuck in a traffic jam. And you say, I knew, right? Now, memory is a different thing. Memory is in your subconscious. Memory is when you use the ketchup in the refrigerator, right? And you put it back and you know there's only that much, right? And you just put it back. You say, no, that's I'll deal with it later. And then you're in the store and you walk down the aisle and there's ketchup, right? And it's like, I wonder if I'm supposed to, it triggers your memory. And you go, I wonder if I'm supposed to get ketchup. And you think about it. And then you dismiss it. You go, no, I think I'm just thinking things. And you go back home and in the refrigerator, there's a little ketchup. You go, I knew I should have gotten ketchup. That was memory. That is memory out of your subconscious. Okay, those are two different things. Intuition and memory are different. But subconsciously, you remember everything. Something just has to trigger it. That's all. Something just has to trigger a memory. It's all in your subconscious. Everything you've ever done, everything you've ever heard, everything you've ever watched, everything you've ever listened to. It's all of your senses. Your subconscious is all of your senses. Your subconscious is not a frame of mind. It's not a type of mind. It's not a separate thing. Okay? It's the culmination of all of your senses. So now, Okay, you women that are here, Eddie, Jay, Afro, you women that are here, just know that you're powerful. Okay, you're way more powerful than us. Okay, for many reasons. Okay, but one reason is manifestation and the ability that you have to multitask, and that ability will bring you more things, more of your desires, more what you want, if you stay happy. Okay, so make sure your men keep you happy, keep you in a good mood. Okay, because if you really want things to go bad, just get your wife angry. Okay, there's a spiritual reason, like I said, behind happy wife, happy life. It's because when she starts getting depressed, when she starts getting down or feeling down, the tide goes out. Things start going the opposite way. But when she's happy, all the good things come, all the good things, right? That's the way it works. Okay? Happy wife, happy life, happy girlfriend, happy life, happy, right? Happy woman, happy life. Okay? So for you women, you know you can do this, you see it. What you may not realize is you may not realize the biorhythms. Okay, so what is that? Well, money comes in cycles. First, a lot of money comes, right? You're happy, you're jamming, you're producing, right? Boom, 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 boom. Money's coming, coming, coming. Something happens to make you feel bad. It could be anything. It could be something on the news. It could be something somebody did. It could be something your girlfriend did or your bestie did or whatever. And then you get in a slump. Then what happens? Then the tide goes out. Tide goes out. The all goes out. Okay? And you see it going out. You're aware of it going out. Okay? How are you going to change that? Well, get in a good mood. Do what you need to do. Take that vibrational time out. Let everything reset. Okay? What I do is I take a nap. Naps work. Take a nap. You know, a lot of people go, well, I can't take a nap. I have to work. I have to produce. I have to do my job. No, take a nap. If you're at work, sleep in your chair. Just go back like that. I used to do that all the time. It worked like a charm. Okay? Because when you are still, you are canceling out all that push vibration. When you are pushing, you're developing a force field out here that is like this, okay? Doubt and fear. And you're push, 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 work hard, work hard. Your blessings are trying to come to you. They're not coming because you're not allowing it. When this comes down, when the push goes down to rest, now the blessings come. When I take a nap, I get emails, I get new contracts, I get new work, get new jobs, get new clients. Okay, and it works like that. Because when I know how much I can push, and then I know how much I need to rest. And that's what you need to establish. That's how you can be aware of your biorhythms. Okay? You have to know how much you can push forward, and then you have to relax. You have to take a time out. You have to take a break. You have to have relaxation. You have to, okay, so ladies, okay, for you ladies, the majority of my clients are women, okay? I don't know if it's because they know I love them or what, but yeah, the majority of my clients have always been women. Women support me, okay? Women pay my bills. I'm very grateful, okay? But here's a takeaway for you women, okay? When you're working hard, it's okay to work hard. Make sure in between you get me time. Make sure that in between you go to the spa. Make sure that in between you get rest, okay? Or you go to the beach, or you go to the mountains, or you take in some scenery, because you need those breaks. Those are vibrational breaks. You're a vibratory being. Everything in you is vibrating. Every cell, every nerve ending, everything is vibrating. You're susceptible to vibration, okay? So when you're vibrating good, or let's say vibrating high, or let's say vibrating happy, you're attracting everything. You're becoming a magnet. Everything is coming in. Everything is going good. Everything is productive. Money's stacking up. The bank is filling up. Then you get in a bad mood. Then what? Oh, everything is going. The bills are coming. The bank's being drained, right? All of that. Okay. So there is an art to this. There's an art form to this. And the art form is to watch your cycles. Okay? Okay? I'm not talking about, that cycle. I'm talking about your rhythm. Okay? Watch the money come in. and then watch when the money goes out. When the money goes out, that's when you apply more rest, more relaxation. But what's the natural inclination? The natural inclination is, no, I gotta work harder. I gotta push, 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 push. Okay? And then the money goes out more, right? So women are emotional beings. Anything that they desire, they are marrying emotion with intention. Okay? Yeah. It's that easy for a woman. And because they multitask, because they got to be mama bears, right? Now they're manifesting on multiple levels. They're manifesting multiple things, not just one thing, but maybe three things, maybe four things sometimes. And they're jumping from thing to thing, and as long as they're happy, these things will continue to come in. Once they get on a downward slump, they start to recede, they start to go up. Okay, so keep that in mind, ladies. All right, so we'd like to say thank you, Eddie, thank you for being here. Love you, Eddie, always love you. Thank you, Jay, love you too. And Afrocentric, I didn't have any questions on this end on the feed. Facebook, I will get to your questions as soon as we end, which is right about now. But our international feed is ending, so we want to thank you guys. Thank you for being here. YouTube, we're on 7 platforms every morning at 7, 7 at 7, and we'd like to say thank you and aloha from Hawaii. You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Oh, I didn't see Gene. Oh, Gene. Hi, Gene. Hey, Gene. And oh no, I didn't see you guys down there. Sorry, I had to scroll up. You're very, very welcome. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Hawaii time. Right now it's 8 a.m. It's 8:02 a.m. in Hawaii right now.